Another wonderful session of Mr. Eric's composition class. And today what we're going to do is continue in this informational writing unit. And I just thought I would do something different and walk you through the agenda like I expect you to for those of you who are averse to reading instructions top to bottom, left to right. So first and foremost, if you've got this open in your Gmail inbox, please open it in Canvas. It makes it so much easier to interpret, and links are easier to click on like these right here. But let's start with the do now. Once you've come in and logged into Chrome, which you've already done, scan the agenda below and then scroll back up here. So what I see is that, okay, so something about everybody's an expert, all right. Okay, looks like we're going to create a new Google Doc. It's called 5-Minute Expert. Looks like he wants me to evaluate something. Oh, he refers to last week's recipe, so okay, I'm glad I got that homework done. And then we're going to work on a good introduction and conclusion. Okay, there's the rubric. I'm not going to look at that now, but it looks like Mr. Eric's going to go over it. And it looks like he gave me a few references for how to do this assignment. Okay, there's an exit ticket he wants me to do, and there are today's learning targets based on the Common Core standards. All right, so back to the top, just like step number 2 said. And I don't expect you to spend any more time on it than that. Just get your head on straight so that when I start talking to you, you're not out in left field somewhere asking, what am I supposed to do? So the last step of the do now is an action step as usual. I want you to use the reply button below and think about what was hard about writing the recipe or restaurant review. Okay. And then it looks to me like I've already done one down here. The problem with writing a recipe is that sometimes I skip over steps that I do automatically instead of typing them out for someone who's never made the dish before. Okay, so I might say, Mr. Eric, I know what you mean. And it's different if you're writing a recipe for a child than for an adult. Okay, so look, that my comment makes sense to what I posted before, and there I go back, and there's my response. So I have completed not only the reply about what was hard, but then I've responded to someone else's post. Now I just need to wait for Mr. Eric, and if I get this done, I might as well just go ahead and read the agenda. So after the do now, we're going to focus on a new writing assignment for the day, and it goes like this. Everybody's an expert at something by the time they're in their late teens. The question is, how valuable is that skill you've been developing all these years? Think about the thousands of hours you've likely dedicated to a particular ability, and how can you share it with the class? Well, I know what Mr. Eric's getting at here. He thinks that all I know how to do is sit on a couch and play video games, but that's not true. I've been playing guitar since I was 12. I'm going to teach the class how to do that, I think. But before I get going, let's see what he wants us to do. So, looks like I'm going to click on my periods folder. So period 5 is 1305, period 8 is 1308. So if I click on period 8, for example, that'll open up a new tab, and it should be an empty folder at the beginning of class. And Mr. Eric wants me to create a new Google document in here. So if I click Create Document, it's going to open up yet another tab. Oops, after it tells me it's going to create and share, because the whole class can see this. And the first thing I'm going to do is rename this guy. So if I click on the title here, I can name it Eric Nentrup 5-Minute Expert. Boom. Done. Now I'm ready to write my lesson. Okay? So before I get into that, let's go back and see what the next steps are in Canvas. So I've got Canvas, Drive, and my document. Okay, he wants me to come up with several ideas about what I can teach the class and eliminate all but the best one for your audience. Well, maybe my audience doesn't want to learn how to play guitar. Maybe they want to learn how to sign up for a Facebook account or how to link their Twitter and Instagram accounts or something like that instead. So I'm going to think through several ideas. Then I'm going to think through the sequence of events that you have to follow in order to master this skill. Then I'm going to come up with an introduction and a conclusion so that the whole lesson feels really appealing to the student. And then I'm going to check everything according to this rubric. So let's take a quick look at it. Notice that it opens another tab. It goes to my Dropbox account, and here we have this rubric. Along the top, you'll see the different grades from 5 points to 1, from exceptional to inadequate, and a description for what each of these means. Then along the left side, you'll see the different things that I'm going to be grading. Focus, development, audience, cohesion, language and style, and conventions. Now, some of those things, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it looks to me like there's a definition for each one here. So once I know what it is, I can see like where I want to end up. So I may not be the best writer in the class under exceptional, but I definitely want to come across as skilled. And that's it. So I'm done with this rubric. I can keep it open, but I might move it down here on the end, and then I might come down here and take a look at what else Mr. Eric's got for me. So there's the rubric on step 5. On step 6, If you're not sure how to do any of this, check out the following websites for reference: wikihow.com, ehow.com, and Expert Village. Guys, each of these websites shows you step by step how to do a particular skill, and there are thousands of lessons. Okay, in fact, 164,000 how-to articles. So you could very easily pick up something that you like, how to play guitar, and find a lesson. 4 ways to play guitar, 3 ways to play guitar chords. So let's just take a look at this first one because I like the photograph of the guy's hand playing the guitar. So it tells me it has an introduction here. You can use the guitar to play anything from death metal to country to classical and everything in between. Learning how to play guitar is more approachable, so forth and so on. Now check this out. They've got different steps and some documents that I can use so I can start to learn. So here's part 1, Mastering the Basics, and step 1 of part 1, Buy a Guitar Tuner. It goes on from there to learning how to read guitar tabs, not specific sheet music, to playing guitar, to learning finger placement. And then it goes into part 2, how to strum, so the right hand's job. And then it goes into the different steps for part 3, playing chords. So there's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay, I'm starting to get the idea of what Mr. Eric is looking for in this assignment of becoming a 5-minute expert. Some of the steps have sub-steps. So maybe there's the first part and how to accomplish it broken down all the way, and then the next part. So in my document, I might just say how to play bass. And so I'm gonna use something similar here. I'm gonna be like the basics, no pun intended. And then under it, let's do this. The basics, and if I use the numbered list up here, right here, I can just keep going. The basics, and I can indent. I can talk about the parts of the instrument, how to hold it, different types, maybe. I don't know, just to give people an understanding. Okay, it may be left hand technique, right hand technique, and maybe a 4th section putting it all together. And what we got is kind of as different categories. And so I'll come up here and holding down the strings, so forth and so on. I think you get the idea. And then I can come back and I can style it. I can figure out, like, I'm going to put a paragraph in here for each of these things once I get organized in my outline. And maybe I could even, like, put in a picture to really make my instructions look good. And maybe I want to search for an appropriate image. And it's just that easy, guys. You don't have to overthink this. You're an expert at something. Why not share that with the whole class? So that's the whole point, is to teach us all how to do something. All right? Right? If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.